Okay, so 4-hour chart here, we can see that it came down and tested that 50-day SMA on the 4-hour chart and then bounced up overnight. So we are kind of looking like that is still acting like as support, so that's good. Let's look at the 1-hour chart here. Okay. Adjust our lines. Okay, so now we can see from the 1-hour chart a little bit clearer that it bounced off of what was also the 180-day SMA on the 1-hour chart. So that is still acting as support. One little concerning thing here is that each peak here is getting lower and lower. You can see that on the RSI. So it is losing momentum. And even the bottoms are getting lower as well. So we definitely want to be cautious. Even though it's generally uptrending, we're kind of in this little downtrend leg right through here. Okay, and the 30-minute chart, same kind of thing. It's looking like it's tipping over. 15-minute chart, looks like it could be dropping. Again, we have support right through here. So that's good to note. And we're going to jump over to the 1-minute chart and adjust our rate. So we want to put this on the 4 o'clock point, and this one needs to go on the 9:30 point from yesterday. And I was saying yesterday that I thought this information would be more vital and more helpful, more relevant to today than last Friday's was, because it was just a partial day. So let's see if that pans out. All right, so the previous day's value area low is going to be right there. And the previous day's POC is right there. Oh, it's right, actually the red line. And then the value area high hasn't really changed very much. Actually, it didn't change at all. That's interesting. Okay, so now if we go back to the 5-minute chart and let's look over here where we're at for today with all the overnight information and yesterday's information. The POC is pretty much the same, so that hasn't really changed. We have a resistance level up here that it has not broken through. The 1-hour chart as well as the previous day's value area high. So that's kind of interesting. All right, so we're kind of in this band between these two areas. And if we stretch this out, we can also see kind of a loss of momentum right through here, which is a much smaller scale of that 1-hour chart's momentum. That was from 2 days, and then this would be the 3rd day. But now what we're looking at on the 1-minute chart, of course, is a much smaller little piece of the pie here. And again, we're looking at the data from about 5 o'clock this morning. The POC is up here. So that's probably going to be where it goes and bounces off of and then drops. That's my guess at this point. Okay, it did go up to that point. I'm tempted to get into a short here, and I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. The MACD does look pretty good here. All right, so until I push this sell button, it's not going to execute. So is it going to drop or not? If I get in right here, my stop loss is actually pretty decent. It's kind of tight. But now it's forming another green candle, so I'm not sure yet if that's really what I want to do. So we're just going to wait just a little bit longer. Okay, I'm glad I didn't get in because it just keeps pushing higher. You can see that the RSI down here has actually gained momentum in this little bump right through here. The MACD is still trying to drop here, but it keeps going up a little bit further and a little bit further. I think we're getting close to a point where it's going to start dropping, but we're not there yet. So just wait. I went ahead and zoomed out to the 15-minute chart here, and we can see that the MACD looks like it's turning up. So I think we're fighting against a lot of more long-term positive bullish sentiment here that's keeping it from dropping, which is not surprising because it has been, you know, trending up for so long. So anyway, I do think that's part of what we're going against here. And on the 5-minute chart, we can see that we're below the average and heading up now. It's just now crossed and is going up. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just cancel this because I'm not sure that that's the best move right now. We might be heading up for the day. Maybe I want to wait for it to go up and then drop down to this point and then get into a long. That might be the better way to trade this today. I'm not sure. The other thing that we can do while we're waiting is looking at the news here. They're saying futures, the Dow is down, the S&P is up, and there's a Fed June rate meeting on Wednesday, so we're going to watch out for that. And they're predicting the S&P and NASDAQ were poised for a higher open on Tuesday and hoping that the trade talks will go well. Okay, I think it's getting ready to drop here. So let's go ahead and put in this order and get it ready to go. Because, all right, now we're in. Because that stop order, if it goes above that, that's going to be very surprising. And it's only $87 loss. And I think it's a lot more likely to drop at this point. And being right at that POC right here, it's probably going to get stuck there for quite a while. And I would also say it's kind of sitting at that support level here. So until it breaks through that, we're probably not going to see a lot of big movement going down through that way. So I do think it will break through it. It's gonna take a little time to get that done. And I could definitely see raising up my exit order to more like this point right up here, because I am surprised this peak was higher than that one. So we're kind of trading against the trend, I suppose. It's pretty flat unless you zoom out. So I would still say the trend is kind of bullish generally, but we're in this weird in-between place. So we want to maybe expect trades to be a little bit smaller. So that is a potential for something I might do. I'll zoom out a little bit here. You can see it kind of bouncing off of that SMA right through there and tipping up again. And if we change the bar size here, it doesn't really change anything, so that's good. And also you can see, let me go back to kind of what I was looking at before. You can see that the POC, there's a knob here, kind of up near where I was saying I might get out at a little bit sooner. So that's definitely a potential. Put it up there instead. All right, looks like we broke through that SMA. Now it's testing it on the other side. And we got to go down and test that other level. This one I don't think is going to be too much of a hold up. You can see that the volume level right there, there's a couple that are couple of bars here that are a little bit higher volume, but it's not gonna it's not much compared to the other two, I should say. So I don't think it's going to hold it up too much. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead and move this stop down to break even, because I don't think it's going to get up there anymore. And just let it ride it out. So now we're looking at a trade that is either going to make nothing or make something, which is a good place to be. So, and that looks like it's kind of the peak is at 79. So we want to really watch it when it gets to this point right here to make sure we don't need to get out, because we're asking another $50 out of this trade more, which is not enough to really squabble about here. All right, looking good. You can see this big bunch of orders right through here. It's kind of the point where it didn't want to go above, so that's good. And the other thing we can look at here is the orders on either side here. This is how many selling orders and how many buying orders. Okay, we also want to watch the MACD because it's starting to lose that downward momentum already. It's giving this more of a fight than I thought it would, that line there. It's kind of surprising to me. Okay, looks like it's maybe losing that upward battle. I might just go ahead and take what I can get right through here. Just a little bit concerned it's not going to drop any further. So it looks like that would be like $135 trade if I took it. Oh, now it's going up. I think I'll go ahead and get out of this one. Okay, so I got a little bit on that one, maybe like $80 or something. Yeah, those bulls are pretty strong, and that's part of my worry about doing a short right now, just because the sentiment, generally speaking, is pretty strongly bullish. So any downward movement is going to be a little bit more risky. So we're just going to wait it out. Okay, let's watch it through opening bell. So it looks like that trade might have been fine after all. It went up to this point right here and tested it. I would not have gotten stopped out, and there we go. I would have gotten filled. Well, that's comforting anyway, that at least I called it. All right, so now what we're waiting for is confirmation, because my next thing was, I was thinking that it was going to be dropping either down to here. We've got this span that it's going to be going in between. And so, yep, I would have been fine. Good, good, good. All right, so probably at this point it's going to be bouncing up and going up to the POC, testing that level again, maybe even up here, and then dropping, unless it goes up today. And this is going to be one of those weird trading days, I think, where it's going to be dropping, but it's going to be going against the trend in doing so. So, like, I don't know, I don't know. I think you can still trade on that, just be a little more cautious maybe. All right, so let's wait and get into a short when it gets up to this point here. That's kind of our plan. It may be that it only gets up to this point right here, which is 62.80 before it drops. It's pretty far below there, but all right, that's pretty big. Let's go ahead and get in here. Okay, I'm in a short. Got in a little bit worse place than I had hoped. So let's see, what does it look like for loss? That's 100, 200, and almost 250. So that's a pretty big loss. Don't like that. I'm going to move this up. Oosh. Do I want to do that? Pretty confident it's going to be dropping. I think we'll be fine. This may be a little bit too low, I don't know. Putting it all on the table because I'm pretty sure it's going to be dropping. Not sure I want to do that either. How about right there? All right, so if I were still waiting to get in, this is where I would be getting in, right here. Because the MACD is now losing momentum right through here. The green line's tipped over. And it has the look of it dropping, so I think I'll be all right. All right, so thinking I'm going to go ahead and lower this down. Just take a little bit of risk off the table because I'm not super happy with losing that much money. So I don't want to get stopped out now. I really do think it's going to be dropping. Okay, that's looking good. MACD just touched. And we've got a big red candle. Let's go ahead and lock in some of that, so I don't have to worry quite so much. Very nice. All right, now I'm actually going to lock in some of that profit there. Let's lock in $100. Because honestly, I do think it's probably not going to get above that point anyway. All right, and then we just let it play out. Or get out here, possibly. Yeah, let's take what we can get. Okay, stopped out. But I made something, so that was awesome. And let's see if it actually gets down to where I thought it was going to get down to. Right there to it. Perfect. All right, now it's going to bounce up, and it's going to hit this SMA here, where I have my sell order in, and then drop again. Should we do a long? It's not a bad thought. That might be a pretty decent trade. Let's see. Except that it's losing momentum, really. It's interesting though, this is lower than that, and the RSI is saying it's not quite so low momentum wise. Now let's try it. Alright, we're going to go long, and we're going to ride it up to there. Oh shoot, it did. Okay, well that wasn't the best of trades. Let's go look at the 15. Yeah, it's pretty downtrending right now. I think we want to stick with shorts. I do think it's going to bounce up though. Okay, it is dropping. It didn't get up nearly as far as I thought it would, and the MACD looks like it's turning. So I think if I did something along these lines here, the problem is my stop would be so far up there. Alright, so let's go back and look at the 1 hour chart and make sure that hasn't modified its position. Ah, it has come up. Alright, so I think that's probably where it's going to go to. And since it's already dropped down quite a bit, I think let's go ahead and lock in some of that profit. It doesn't hurt to get stopped out at no loss, but it does hurt to lose. So it looks like I'm going to get stopped out at no profit. All right, let's see how far up it goes. Okay, it's looking to me like we are dropping at this point right here. Oh my goodness, look at all those orders. Instead of doing it that way, I think let's go ahead and do it this way. Oh yeah, I think this is going to be a good trade. We are going to wait for absolute confirmation this time. And the POSD is still up here, actually just went up a little bit higher, so that's kind of interesting. Alrighty, and there's no way it's getting all the way down there, nor do I want it to be that big of a trade. So we're going to move it up there to that POC from yesterday. Okay, the MACD just touched the points there, looking like it's going to drop, so hopeful. Nice. Very, very, very nice. Oh, wow, look at that. Holy cow. Whoa, that was awesome. All right. Whew. I'm happy with that. Holy cow. All right, well, I guess I'm done for the day. Cool.